Alrighty, hey guys, I'm coming in with your reading for today. So we are approaching a full moon, and there is some really new energy out there. It's good energy too, by the way. I said this in one of my other videos. I do see the veil. It has lifted, so we're out of the dark. And I have decided to, just because I have some extra time. That was fast, but I didn't get to complete shuffling, so I'm not going to take that, okay? There's this little thing I like to say first before I take any cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. It's a lot. Okay. In order exactly. Got a lot going on here already. And it's interesting because we have two of the same cups that came up in last night, same cards that came up in last night's reading. All right, so this first card that comes into the reading is the Queen of Cups, okay? So, I'm sorry, the King of Cups. So we're talking about a masculine energy, right? So this doesn't necessarily have to be a female or a male. We're just talking about the energy of a more masculine. And maybe you're coming out of a more masculine energy because you are now into this bright sun energy. So the bright sun energy, well, let's go back to the king. The king energy is more about an aggressive man or female, but a very dominant, let's think of a dominant person, but very flowy. So I don't want you to think of rigid. This aggressive person, this aggressive king, he is able to get things done smoothly, like water. So everything kind of flows smoothly. So you may have been moving through your more dominant energies in order to get things done kind of smooth. You may have had to find yourself being a little bit stronger, or maybe you're a man and you're just moving things along, and this is how you move through this kind of King of Cups energy. So shortly right behind that, we have this, we have the sun. And the sun, like I said, I felt it today in the energy. All bright things are happening. Bright times are about to begin. Spring is here. And so with spring being here, this tells me with the Temperance right behind it, there are beautiful things about to come into your world. But the Temperance is also a reminder of like you've been balancing. So you've been playing like the balancing act. Now, with the next card coming behind the Temperance, the Star, I really get a lot of, okay, this is great stuff. You are able to pour and pull, so you have enough. Okay, so when you step out of this Temperance, where you kind of were balancing, the Temperance does bring all great, beautiful things, but she is balancing still, she kind of pours from one. If you look at another deck, she pours from one, and she keeps doing that for a while. But if you go forward now, this Star doesn't have to do that. She has an abundance. She is lit up. She is the star in the night, and she has a lot. So you are exceeding with, but there also is the opposite side of this message, which tells me, you could be doing too much of something. You could be giving too much of your self to somebody or something. So this is just a reminder to, bring your energy in and just to keep it focused on one aspect. You can, do many things with your life, but don't overindulge. So the Star is a reminder not to overindulge. So let's pull from some other oracle decks now. Now I want to have some fun with this, okay? So on this king, let's see what this King of Cups kind of energy does he really bring to us. I want to get like a roll. So let's kind of get a roll on this King of Cups. Is this so now, okay. There's one of these decks kind of just feel like they're just for relationships. Okay, so I'm going to get a roll on this king. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. All right. I want to see what that is. Martial art master, master, water, and profound. How interesting, right? So I'm glad that happened in front of you. So the master of water, profound. So this tells me that, like, woof, you're a master. You've mastered yourself through this dark season. Like, you've mastered, like, whoa, wow. It's hitting me like some people can actually have the ability to make things happen. That's how much of a master you are. Okay, can I get something on this sun? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sun it is. Okay, the sun was the thinker, meditate, focus, and profound. So in your dark times, this thinker it's a very profound person, and that's absolutely true about the sun. The sun comes through very profound. It brings out the sun and very focused. The idea of meditate and a thinker. So I like that we have these two really amazing cards that are coinciding with each other. This is a very bright person. So think of the sun, you think of bright, this thinker, right? So this thinker, he meditates, he's focused, and he's very profound. So his ability of thinking outside of the narrow he's a very profound thinker, maybe even philosophical. Okay, Lauren, we're good at making up words. I have to put that back, too many. So I'm pulling on the Temperance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. All right. Okay, so on that Temperance, what can you give me? So the Temperance, the founder, the originator, the pioneer, the groundbreaker, and the entrepreneur. Yeah, kind of the energy I was getting. This Temperance is like she's again, you see how she pours from one cup to another. She's breaking the ground. She's determined. She is I'm sorry, I was reading something. So yeah, so this she's an originator, she's a pioneer, she's a groundbreaker, and she's an entrepreneur. This is somebody who is possibly, and I haven't gotten to that deck yet, but she could possibly be breaking ancestral, karmic chains. That, like, she's the one, she's the groundbreaker. Where's that deck? All right. And now we have to pull on the star. So, can I get something on the star? Oops, that's too much. Alrighty. So what about the star? And what are you telling me about the star? And the role of the star. An angel. Divine wings, protection, and blessings. Heavenly. Okay. So now you are definitely, this tells me you've stepped through maybe even like dimensions. So you may have started this phase in your life of like when all of this was taking place, all of this dark season, right? And so in the beginning of this dark season, you may have started in a lower level of frequency, right? So you come out in like an angel frequency. You come out angelic, obviously, with the sun and, the Temperance being behind you, the founder, the thinker, martial arts. Yeah. So you get this angel, divine wings, protection, and blessings, heavenly. So this tells me that you are like heavenly. So remember what I said about the martial arts, that you could possibly make things happen. And so with heavenly, like, you may even have powers that you haven't even found yet. Sounds crazy, but you may have more abilities to manifest than you know of yet. Okay, so let's get something from the Spirit of the Times. Can I get something from the Spirit of the Times on the King? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck it's just too much, man. Now you see why I pulled before. It's not that I don't want to pull in front of you. It's just, look, another one's on the floor. If they hit the floor, I don't take them. That's number one. That when they hit the floor, I don't take it. If it hits the table, 2, okay. 3. If they fall where I could actually see them like it did just now, yes. Okay, let me stay focused. King of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, protection. So when you started this phase, you really started this phase protecting yourself. You knew you needed protection. There may have been some things going on around your life where you knew that you needed some spiritual protection. And if you haven't already gotten it, this card is telling me to tell you that you need to always protect yourself. Okay, so what about the sun? The sun, and what can you give me about the sun? Boundaries and the thinker and meditation and focus, right? So you've been putting up boundaries. This tells me throughout this season, you've put up boundaries. You've definitely, look, with the sun and the boundaries, this tells me, yeah, you've gone around and you've put up some freaking boundaries. Like, you know, hey, I don't want this part. I don't want the sun coming in this part of my land. And when I say that, I'm talking about people, you know, people in your lives. Like, I don't want you coming into my life anymore. I don't want you calling me. I don't want you doing this. You have gone around putting up boundaries. Absolutely, for sure. With the meditation and the focus and being very profound, you have literally stepped into the self that you have always meant to be, the part of you that people have been bringing down. You are becoming an originator, the foundation, the founder of your own life. This is not a job. This is not a career. This is your life. You are the founder of your life. You have literally been thinking your way out of this. Now I'm getting a big picture. Okay, can I get something on the Temperance? And what about the Temperance? Okay, stability. So the Temperance offers you stability. Of course she does, because she's always balancing things out, right? So the Temperance is going to bring you stability. She's always pouring from one cup to put into another cup, to put back into the other cup. She offers stability, okay? And she is the originator. She is the founder. She is the one who is going to be the ground breaker. She is very stable. So this is you. This is telling me that you're very stable and you have been thinking very smart and you've been being very strong throughout all this. And what about the star? Can you tell me about the star? Did it have to go with the star? I'm going to take it because it's only one and it did go face up. Okay, so the star is opportunity. Good luck. The star brings you opportunity, good luck, as I presumed. And that's why I took it, because I knew that this was meant for the reading. At the end of this reading, you have a star. Remember, I said she comes in with an abundance. The star has abundance. She has the ability to take from here and pour to there. Okay. She's also being told not to do things in excess, though. Like, not to become, you know, not to do things in excess, not to do too much of it, not to make a habit of it, if that makes sense, right? People who can make a habit out of shopping, out of eating, anything can become a habit, right? Or an addiction. So that's one thing that the Temperance tells you to avoid. Make sure that you're not doing too much of one thing, and that could be anything. It could be anything. But here in this overall reading, she is telling you that you have an abundance. So you have so much of an abundance that it brings you opportunity. This opportunity could be the opportunity, the key. So we just think of the key, and I don't want to put any particular picture or image in your head, so that way, you know, for you to make it fit. The key is the opportunity to whatever it is that you've been working on. Maybe it's the key to your heart. Maybe it's the key to a house. Maybe it's the key to a car. Maybe it's the key to a new job. Whatever it is, maybe it's the key to unlocking your freedom, your overall freedom from everything that you've been dealing with in your life. And that's why I don't like to put anything in particular into place, because we all have our own opportunity. Opportunity is how you look at it. What is your perception? You know, some people are looking for money. Others are looking for love. Some people are looking for a place to live. Others are looking for a place to, you know, maybe go on vacation. It's just a perspective thing. And I just want to get from this, this deck right here, the Jungen deck, right? I just want to get like a, kind kind of want to get one card from here just to kind of get the overall if I can just say like personality, just one person from here. Thank you. Okay. The androgynous, I'm going to have to look at her. And so let's look at this androgynous. What does she tell us about ourselves? Okay. She's very pretty looking too. So while I find this, let's look at her. So what is she telling us about ourselves? What number is she? 22? All right. So from this deck, I want to see what she tells us about us. The androgynous, I'm probably not pronouncing it. The sage tells us that this beginning of things, before the deity brought order and confused origin of the creation, high and low, wet and dry, cold and heat, justice and inequality, lived in the same body. So androgynous is her perfect nature, realizes the world and the coincidences and the opposites and the rich and the multiformed dimensions. Okay, so let's go into her overall meaning. The veil of her appearance forceful, the law of the dark and the father and the power and the breaks in the fluid that is dissolves and the resumptions of the mountainous of the judgment of self-generating tradition. The still time blocks the circle plots of life. Change of fluidity define life. Interesting. Look at that. I'm going to tell you how interesting that is. Okay. You came up as a King of Cups in the beginning of the reading. King of Cups is living through water, and this is all about fluidity. I hate these words. Fluidity, right? So she's all about fluidity and being fluid. So with the wet, with the cold, it's kind of like as above, so below. I told you, you are like, you're a strong person. Whoever this reading is for, I really feel like you have powers that you do not even know. With this card coming in, she changes as above, so below, with the wet and the cold and the dry and the, the heat and the, so yeah. So she changes everything. She changes the dynamics of everything and balances it out with the justice, right? So she's kind of like justice. Okay, let's pull from a little bit more real quick because I still have some time. And when I have this time, I like to do it. Yikes, I made a mess. So from past life, let's pull from past life. I like to always assume and presume that when I pull from the past life, it's giving me the energy of what this past life could be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. And it's 3. You see? You're better off letting me, watching them when they're all laid out for you. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. Can you give me the past life on this reading? Success, personal or professional achievement. That kind of comes in with the founder, the originator, and the pioneer. Okay, can I just get one more from this past life reading? What is this really working towards? Like, what is it about? Okay, passions, interests, hobbies, sports, favorite pastimes. So this may have been something that you have had in the past, in your past life. You have maybe have had very good hobbies that may helped you to make money with this card right here. So you think about this woman, right? So her hobby and her pastime and her sports and her passion is tending to the land that gives her the ability to make money. So they could barter and trade or whatever, or sell at the markets, right? So you may have a hobby that you could actually use, that you can sell your items or your ability or your talents, either on a market, at a market, a physical market, on the internet or something like that. But this tells me that whatever it is that you've been working on in your inner self, that you also have an outer part of yourself that is a more physical part of yourself, that you're able to do things with your hands. So this tells me your hands are gifted, that you have gifted hands. If you have a hobby and it's a sport and it's a pastime, you have to be able to use your brain, absolutely. But most of the time, the hands are what's doing the work. So you have gifted hands. And can I just get one more from the past life deck, please? Oh, you gave me two. This has been coming up a lot. Okay, I really got this. This came up a lot. So you've given up control. You have had a loss of control and servitude and servitude and loss of power. This means you've given up control in order to serve your highest self, your highest God, your God. And so, yeah, that tells me that this is where you have been, and you probably will stay in a servitude mode probably for the rest of your life, because this keeps coming up. If you have been finding yourself praying a lot, fasting a lot, doing all of that in order to have a better relationship with your spiritual self, and you've seen it's working, it is working, because you are in between lives, realms between realms. You have been jumping in between realms. Like I told you about you in the beginning of this message, you are a very powerful being. You have the ability to do things that you probably didn't even realize that you could do. You have gifted hands, and you are living in an energetic realm. Okay, so this realm that you're living in is an energetic spiritual realm, especially with the servitude, right? Okay, so let's just see if I can get something from, let's put this back. I wish I knew how to pause and then like restart, but I don't. Okay. And I just wanted something from here, and then we're going to finish this out. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck is alive again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This deck. Okay. A few turned over, so let me just look at them. Tick tock, whatever it is that you're doing, the clock is ticking. You need to do it. You need to work on it. Like, time. So time is passing. You're stepping out of winter. You're stepping into spring. So I want you to think of time. TikTok tells me that this is whatever it is that you're working on. It does concern time. It is a time. You may miss the time frame. The hobbies and opportunities may also be out there with time popping up. Okay, breathe. This tells me, again, go back with the meditation focus. You're already good at doing this. You're already good at breathing. You're already good at getting yourself through it. But yeah, that tells me that. Okay, so to breathe. Again, here, higher power. So you're being guided by a much higher power. You may be in a very strong place in your life, and you don't realize it. So I always suggest people to meditate. Journal. Have journal books of like your serendipities, journal books about how many just things in your life, and you will start to realize like, whoa, okay. And so yeah, with yin tells me that you have to live through the fire, which makes sense because you've been moving through this King of Cups, which is more an aggressive, manly type of energy. So yeah, you need to move through more like your yin, which is more of like your feminine side. So now you're coming out of that darker side and you're coming back more into your feminine side, which allows you to meditate, to be more in touch with yourself, and to maybe step out of that more aggressive mode that you've had to be in for a little while. This allows you to come back into, the more feminine side of you. And again, when I speak about this, and I say this even to men, men have a feminine side to them that allows them to communicate well with other females. If men did not have an equal balance, they would just be walking around like beating their chest, understand? So when women and female, men and female both have a balance of testosterone and estrogen, which allows us to to, get in touch with our feminine side and a more dominant side. So just always be mindful to that yes, if men did not have a feminine side, they would be dragging us by our hair and beating their chest. Well, thank God for the idea of them knowing that they are allowed to be feminine like as well, as times have evolved so much. I hope this message resonates with you, and just be mindful that you have stepped out of the dark season. Yes, you have been balancing, but you are coming out as the star. You are coming out with many opportunities. You've done a very good job of setting boundaries. You are very stable in your moment right now, and you are the groundbreaker. You are the entrepreneur. So maybe you're being called to do things that feel uncomfortable, with the idea of living through this temperance. You've been having to live between lives, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and here I put some here. So it could be challenging, and it's not always comfortable, but you are being called to do this, especially with this card right here. And I'm not going to try to pronounce her name again, but she literally is as above, so below. So what you're doing in your life right now on the physical plane is, playing out in the spiritual plane, which will play out in the lower planes later in life. So just remember to always live your life very aligned with what your truest purpose is. Your truest purpose. If you're not living in your truest purpose, well, then you're never going to get to experience your hobbies, your pastime, your favorite pastimes. And also, this is a very timely manner message. So this message is telling me that this is time, that this period of your life, you're stepping into it. The veil has been lifted, but then shortly after, we're going to jump right into summer. I feel like this is a spring thing, a spring fling type of thing. And it must be done within the spring, because once summer comes, I feel like your time is up. I do feel like that. Like the time runs out. Maybe you don't have the same amount of opportunities. Maybe the jobs are not there. But whatever it is that you're looking for, the time is important. Okay. Remember, you have success in this in your past life readings. So when I asked from the past life deck, what type of energy did this past life give us? And it gave you success, personal or professional achievements. So whether you're achieving your own personal success of getting somewhere in life, learning something about yourself, moving on from something that no longer serves you and moving into something that fits you completely, this is a success moment of your life. And remember, if you do not move in a timely fashion and you do not do what you set out to do, you will not be able to get to experience this again. From your past life deck, you have made lots of money off of your hobbies, pastimes, and you can do it again. So this tells me that you've done this before. You've made money. You've always made money with your hands. Your hands are gifted. It may not just be your hands. It may be like your talent, your ability to speak. Maybe you're a speaker, but this does tell me that you've done it in your past. You were good at it and successful. Absolutely. With success coming up, you were successful at this in the past, and you should continue to go back to what you do best. And so with the energetic realms, again, this reminds us, you're stepping out of one realm and you're going into another, and that's constantly life as we know it. We're evolving. We're evolving. We're always stepping out of one realm into another. Well, hopefully we are, because if we're not, that means we're stagnant, right? So I want you to think about that. Like, if you stay in one energetic realm for too long, well, then how would that feel? It would feel so stagnant and stale, and the energy within your whole life must just feel so mundane. I could never live like that, knowing what I know now. So once your eyes are open, this reminds me to tell you that once your eyes are open, you can't close them. Spirit just told me to tell that. So once you see, you can never unsee. And again, remind yourself, this is reminding me to protect yourselves, right? So, always remember to pray, protect yourselves, and protect your family. There's something, not everybody always has good intentions for you, and that's just the nature of life. There will always be people who are just vindictive or just wish they had what you had, whether it's your strength, your money, or your life, or your family. People just are people. And so, you didn't get too much of this, which is good, but that came up with martial arts. So it also tells me you've been doing this in a much different aspect, though, in a much stronger aspect, more than an evil eye bracelet could do. Do you understand what I mean? The type of protection you've put up into your life is more than a cross can do, is more than an evil eye can do, is more than a prayer can do, is more than a church can do. You have built so much protection into your life. And this tells me to keep, for you to keep building that with, people, again, from your past, whatever it may be, you know, master, water, profound. So you're the master of water and you're very profound. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this message. It is Thursday. And yeah, have a good one. Bye-bye.